9 things you should never do in Israel. 1. Don't be afraid to haggle. The old city of Jerusalem is especially a tourist attraction, where a lot of vendors target tourists and quote unexpectedly high prices. They expect the tourists to pay what they ask for, which isn't the case. Whatever price they say in the market is open for negotiation. In some cases, anything costing 50 shekels can go down as low as 5. Now that's a good bargain. 2. Don't be afraid of soldiers. Israel requires mandatory military services over the age of 18, both for men and women. The training lasts around 3 years for men and 2 years for women. This training is because of the animosity towards Israel from the surrounding states. Because of this factor and a lot of others that are being carried out even today, you can see soldiers almost everywhere in Israel, especially in Jerusalem. These soldiers are for precautionary measures and to make you feel safer, so there is no way you should feel afraid of them. 3. Don't dress inappropriately. One of the things you should not do in Israel is dress vulgar. There are several holy sites in Israel that you may want to check out. If you are visiting any mosque or museum in Israel, make sure you dress modestly. Avoid wearing skimpy or short clothes. No part of your skin should be bare. Wear a hijab or cover your head when visiting a mosque. Not doing so can get you in trouble, which you would want to avoid at all costs. 4. Do not discuss politics. Even if it is the last thing you would be wanting to do in your Israel vacation. Everyone knows about the ongoing conflicts and how complex is the history of Israelis. Talking about politics in Israel with locals or even amongst ourselves is like waking up a hornet's nest. So, one of the things not to do in Israel is discussing politics. Plus, you have not come to this beautiful country to talk about politics. So, rather focus on exploring places around. 5. Don't get scammed. It's always better to book a tour guide beforehand rather than getting one when you are already there. Some might prefer traveling and exploring places all by themselves, but a tour guide will be a good investment. A tour guide in Israel goes to school for 2 years and has to get a license, so you should always book one before your trip. Never trust the one who might approach you on the road. 6. Don't forget to tip. Israeli waiters, and Tel Aviv waiters, in particular, live off tips rather than actual salaries, so tipping is very common and quite high, at about 10 to 15% of the meal. Tipping is so common, it would be considered very rude not to leave one. Even if the service was bad, it is customary to leave no less than 10%, and if you were happy with the service, leave around 15%. You may, in most places, ask for the tip to be included in your card payment. Note that Israelis aren't shy at all, and perhaps even too direct. The waiter will have no problem walking you out of the restaurant and ask why you didn't leave a tip. 7. Don't hitchhike. Hitchhiking is not common in Israel at all. It's not like it's not legal. It's just something Israelis advise against and avoid themselves. Unlike other, more serene places in the world, Israelis have to be very cautious when it comes to safety, so whatever possibility of an unsafe situation they can avoid, such as hopping into a car with a stranger. 8. Don't keep walking when the Memorial Day siren is heard. There are 2 days of the year when the whole state of Israel stops and stands still for 1 minute. On Yom HaZikaron, Memorial Day, for the fallen soldiers of Israel, and Holocaust Remembrance Day, both held around the spring. A siren is heard throughout the country, once in the evening and once in the morning. Every person in Israel stops whatever they were doing, and stands up straight to remember the deceased and pay their respects. It is considered very disrespectful to ignore the siren and remain active. 9. Don't expect a light breakfast. In case you did not know, Middle East cuisine is way beyond hummus and pita. So, you don't have to survive on it solely. Whether you are non-vegetarian or vegetarian, the options of Israeli food are unlimited. From falafel, shawarma, subi, salads, try everything. Jerusalem and Tel Aviv have the best restaurants where you can enjoy sumptuous Israeli cuisine. And, did you know samosa originated in the Middle East? So, you can gorge on a variety of samosas too.